imagine when you suffer doomsday for an hour. The lack of light for just an hour or 30 minutes.
Yeah.
How do you feel? After 2 hours, when your phone is about dying, how do you feel? And the heat is so persistent. Now imagine living without light for 60 years in a community in Ghana, very close to Accra, very close to, it's in Ewutu. And Ewutu, we know it's close to certain communities that definitely you will be seeing light. The pain of seeing other people enjoying light when you are a tax-paying citizen. When you are supposed to enjoy certain amenities, that is not supposed to be a beg. That is not supposed to be a hassle or a tussle. For the particular MP in your community to be able to make you have access to it. How about not having water? This is 60 years. So if you're at the age of 30 years and you died, you lived in a community, God forbid, you live in a community where you never saw light. You never enjoyed an amenity that is supposed to be given to you because you pay for it. You do not have water to drink. You have to go through a hassle of going to other townships to try and get the water. A community in the Wutu in the central region. The community is called Anan. They've not had water for good 60 years. Light for good 60 years. No light. There's a chief in the community. There's an MP, there's an assemblyman. And they've had no water for years on end. How would you live without it? There's a video to this effect. Let's watch it and speak to the authorities who are supposed to help this community. We'll be right back.
Anan, nestled in the Ewutu Sanya West district, boasts a population of over 1,000, predominantly comprising farmers. Despite sharing borders with the eastern and central regions, the community remains devoid of electricity for 6 decades, hindering their development. Affiliation with the central region was intended to bring benefits, but the electricity challenge persists. The absence of electricity poses educational hurdles for school-going children, forcing many to divert their leisure time towards undesirable activities. A nighttime visit reveals an abandoned community shrouded in darkness, making it virtually impossible to navigate. Desperate residents trek for miles to charge essential devices like mobile phones and radios.
Due to lack of electricity, our children over here, they walk distance before they go to school. When they come, when there's night, when night comes, they are not able to learn because due to lack of electricity, they are not able to learn. So you see that maybe their time they'll be at home playing or sort of playing, then they'll go and sleep. In fact, it's our problem. If there's light, the rabbits maybe, as I'm standing, I can teach them. If there's light, I can help you of help. Before I go see maybe a child around maybe 16 years, 17 years or so, now you got pregnant. They used to come here and tell us maybe we should cut the vote for them. When they come to power, they'll help us. But before we go rise, after they come to power, everything will be rejected. They will not come to our aid.
Obia wa light yenyechi o yenyechi kura hwebo biase suaduru ni across ni yenyechi enso ya ba hye ba bia bakra akurasi bi tu this ba ha ba hye yebo do ba ye pipe o ba bring light then obotu ni esi ha ena me yore ka sei enti ne ya boye po yetirim po pa de this to the nice growing ada ya ba ya papa
Mr. Me only friend me charge me phone kura yes me obi so me mu e de me kokrom to asama ko charge phone so one me twa ba my light there no light no vote yen to aba say yen no say yen MPP aban yo obi a yen yimu ne yen ja ba ko ye kokumi krom anam say light won for manti me ye dan no ko central region ye ko enso a bobo ndi ye ko ya na ye ba yen ka man no ho a aban no ma ye hu say yen ka ho
Esa say any light wa hanti yeni TV yeni hwe ukonya etinya abo akoshe dem na adwuma yesisua awuso abusua yeni abu bia ba bra ye ukola yisia wako school ba wonya hwe ade bia fa dia go wonya hwe wonya enisade bia ena ne se wote wokeke no maso da koda nso a mekan light ni wonti dan a wusi ye ba ko mo fra ba ya wotwe munyina mu gudan ba kum na adwuma ni esisu ani adwuma ni esisu na mo fra light fa nsu ade no aka se dan ma si mienu ba si miensanti mo fra da bi nkoda ha ena ase nyina a wotwe akono ye nyina gudan ba kum na adwuma esisu ani ndema mo fra nyina ya mo fra bone
kura ye ti sha se kura ne ye ka se ye ne wo enhwe momu biem ema ye be sen kwadwane saa kwafo ema ene ye ka wo ho won so ye ko ka wo ho no saa mere na hanatete ene ye MP oba ha be ye campaign promise ye se obeye lat na maye obema ye nsupa ne ade na ya no ye je ne prince wi ye to aba no wandi ena Georgianda ebai Georgianda ba enfia nan oba ha obe promise ye se obeye ne hia nyina wo anakrum ha maye ye hwadi mu a wanye kosi se ne mfia nan so no woto aba na wandi na Dizala bai anakrum ye tuanamo akono so ba akomienu e de ye haw akoto nanim waje ye mpre so obabuaye ebesi na ye hu hwe.
Beyond electricity woes, Annan grapples with the lack of access to potable water and contends with animals for the sole stream in the community.
Water is also our problem. We are from farm, at times we want water to drink. Maybe perhaps we might not get water at your home. Maybe you have to go and fetch water. In fact, before you walk to the riverside, if perhaps you get something like some sickness like hypertension or something, that's what you take a cross on the road. Also, before you get to the riverside, it's not easy. So if you get water, pipe water or boreholes and so on, I think you can be of help.
Yes, so I am. Since you know what I want to know. Well, Sabi, we answer to any of by. Say a quarter cents to Nupani or Samoa. Ubaka Saonum. One in them or war a patrol, one in them, the young Yamunusu. In Krama de Nanutu, Mpoati Yomanutum, Neanum. Nasa, or no president, and MP, and a DC, son or no or onum. Anon votic. Intia on your votic in my impono. On my pipe near nom.
And soup with your phone by what bread. Never unantua Cobeya 1 hour. Not no news soon. Ansana. What was so soup? No one be fear. What be near the Abia? Maybe I know what brown we are she cry and ye. The Bia young Crunumini uncle. Where do you if you say your bread, your brow and your blaboimu, young grass for cry, my young who's there yet to Abba.
Despite 60 years of advocacy by traditional authorities to connect to the national grid, their efforts have yielded no results. Chief Francis Kumi laments the struggles faced in convincing authorities to address the situation, urging community members not to vote unless their challenges are resolved.
4 years bia so na ye to aba na no aba dada ya to aba dem Inyamwe bia ya da so shesu ebe di sabre anti ya hauti tiru kania asem ya kania etu na mo MP sisi wo so kwa no ya tu na mo akọ na nan so ya na ko din komo ono so ori ya na fam di bia ayansa ebitimaka anso be di sabre ye ho hwe omani hina hia ama ya yesusu adwen ko se yehu kane anima anya dia afi presidential ba yebeto parliamentary anoso yanto exercise light ni anje krono sam ko so pa na fi phone kura ye be charge agisi ya nante be kwansi ba ko nefa ansa na ediye phone ne kura ye ko anomo ya we 1.5 mile ansa na yakosere no ediye phone so ene kura po enwa da petwa bebre.
Member of Parliament for the area, Gisela Tete Agbutui, has pledged to address the long-standing issue, providing a glimmer of hope for the electricity-deprived residents.
I am here at Anai, a community in the Ewutu Senya West municipality. Residents here for 60 years have been without electricity. For residents, they don't know what is happening across the world, and even Ghana. Quite apart from that, their source of water is also contaminated, and they are saying that if authorities don't fix these challenges, they will not vote in the 2024 elections.
Imagine you live in this community and you would have to vote every 4 years. For someone to sit in power, sit on a throne and make sure they are sending you promises, filled promises on a yearly basis for 60 years. Calculate the number of years some of these children may not have been able to study, so their grades may be so low. They may be so low, and it will not help. I may have got a better education system. I may have got access to light. So I'm sitting here. Have you thought of the future of the children in that community? Have you thought of the fact that because of the lack of water, they may be having certain rashes on their skin, certain diseases, the illnesses that they may face? And if there are hospitals, there are CHIP centers, there are clinics in those communities, how do they operate?
We've been joined on the line this morning by the spokesperson for the chief. That's Isaac Yeboah Ado. Good morning, sir. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good morning. Welcome to Breakfast Daily. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Yeboah, welcome to Breakfast Daily.
You are welcome to.
So, tell us this morning, describe your normal day to us in living in Annan. What is a normal day like? You don't have any electricity. What do you do? How do you charge your phones? How do you live?
Well, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I was traveling our road. I was traveling my time. That one there was live. But the one the other guy come here. That is true. And so easy. Before we can be one our traveling, our road, our water, source of water to drink, and our children, they will walk some limited before they go to school. Police. And so that the one the other guy come to ask and say, if we are not part of Ghanaians, let's go.
I want to focus. Let's take the issues one by one. Let's focus on the electricity and the fact that you don't have electricity. How do you charge your phones? I want to know.
Oh, look, we can walk about. I cannot say we can walk from here to somewhere there before our phones we can go and charge it.
So which town? So you yourself, which town do you charge your phone in? Where do you go and charge your phone?
We call the place Mama from.
Okay, and from
we live at another community, but where we charge our phone is Amafrum.
Yes. So how long does it take you to walk to Amafrum?
That's why I cannot tell the meter to work before.
No, not the meters. I'm just saying that, like, when you set off, let's say 8 o'clock, how long will it take you to get there?
Well, if I start from here to, maybe perhaps if I wake up like maybe 7 o'clock, before I reach the place, it will take me about 10 o'clock before I reach there.
So about 3 hours?
About 3 hours, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. About
to
3
go
hours
and charge your phone?
The phone, just to communicate with others.
Yeah. That's very serious. Okay, so
very difficult.
So do you have any CHIPS compound where you in your community?
So do we have what?
Do you have any health centers, any clinic, health centers in your community?
No.
You don't?
No.
Okay. So let me ask you, when people are sick, what do you do? When people are sick, when community members are not feeling well, they are sick, what do they do?
We don't take care. They got some place, we call some place here, Amafrum. There's a health service over there, Amafrum, council. So if somebody is sick, perhaps we don't take care, and it becomes critical, the person can die in our hands.
Yeah.
We will travel to get motor service is a problem.
Yeah.
To get motor bike to get service is a problem. So perhaps if we don't make ourselves, maybe perhaps the person will carry her or him at our back before we reach there.
Wow. You have to carry somebody on your back to take them.
At times.
Sometimes. Wow. Wow. Okay, so let's look at the water situation. Now, of course, we watched a report that sometimes the water that you have, you share with animals. What's the
Oh, brother, what I think, at times, animals they drink the water. There may be some pigs can go to the riverside. And so there's so many things, but the same water that we use.
You don't have any boreholes?
The borehole.
Yeah, borehole.
So we get one by a spoil.
Okay.
We get one by a spoil. So now the riverside that fetch water from.
So what are your leaders doing? What is the DCE doing? What is the MP doing? I want to understand. What is the assembly people? What are they doing?
Is it what the MP is doing?
Yeah, I mean, you have an MP. You have a DCE.
Please, let me come in.
Okay.
Due to those look, we are in the eastern region. But due to so many places, they now join the central region people.
Okay.
Due to something, we now join the
central region. Yeah.
In fact, my man, I don't hear you well, but if you can hear me well over there.
I can hear you well.
Water, electricity, and roads. It's a big time problem over here.
Water, electricity, and roads.
There are so many students. Some of them they attend teachers, senior high, and so on. There are so many problems that they want somebody call you from maybe we get brothers and so on in other countries.
Yeah.
Like America, but they just get complicated with them. It's problem.
All right. Isaac, thank you very much for talking to us this morning. We really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Right.
So that was
come to our aid.
Well, we are putting your story out so that those who are responsible will do what they need to do and be able to solve the problem. All right. Thank you very much. We've been speaking with Isaac Yeboah Ado. He is the spokesperson for the chief of the community called Anan. Now, what he said there was quite revealing. So they were, at the end there, they were part of the Eastern region before, and due to certain designs, they are now under the Central region. But they seem to be abandoned.
So they could join the grid.
Yeah.
That was what Calvin Stete reported. So they could join the national grid for electricity to be provided for them. And those are some of the reasons they voted for some of the MPs or the MP who is supposed to have done that.
Yeah, but
the DCE who is supposed to have done that.
Yeah, but it's been
for
60
them.
years.
It's been
so
60 years. So which
of
of the that's why I said MPs. MPs.
Yeah.
In the past 60 years, none of them have been 60 good years. I mean, this is wickedness.
Yeah, so it goes beyond just the MPs. It's a whole systemic failure because it's government after government after government.
60 whole years.
Yes, that's what it actually means. Because
60 whole years.
So let's even forget
the present ones.
Let's even forget the prior dispensations that we're in. The Fourth Republic. When we take the Fourth Republic, which is where we find ourselves, right? Each of the presidencies
they have failed the community
of the Fourth Republic have completely failed these people in Anan. Completely.
No health center over there.
No chip center. You think about it, but you see, you can't even go and build a chip center if you don't have electricity.
If you don't have electricity,
so
how do you operate?
There's no point. So let's look at the issue of. He said roads.
Roads, water, electricity.
Water. He said electricity. Let's start from roads. You see, we always talk about the fact that things are expensive, but we know things can become more affordable if accessibility is easier.
It's available.
This gentleman who we spoke to, the spokesperson, Isaac Yeboah, said that it takes, if he sets off around 7,
they get there by 9
to go and charge his phone. No, he said 10. It will take him 3 hours, about roughly, to another town where he will go and charge his phone.
And that is an Amanfrom. So imagine if Amanfrom also has no light.
That's pretty wild, Now the MP for Ewutu Senya West has joined us on the line. We have Gisela Tete Agbutui on the line with us. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you very much. I hope you're well.
Very well, thank you. Very well, thank you. Not so much for the people of Ewutu Anan. I'm not sure they can say that they are as well as we are doing here. Considering that for the last 60 years, they haven't had any access to the national grid, the electricity grid. I'm not sure how much you've been brought up to date or up to speed with this, with the conditions of those persons within your constituency. What do you know about them at the Anan community?
Thank you. I was in the Anan community about a week and a half ago.
Okay.
Doing my usual community visit. But I'm aware of this situation. And it's not only Anan. There are about 20 communities in a similar situation.
I see.
It's not only Anan.
Okay.
There are about 20 of them.
Okay.
Since I became the member of parliament, I have filed questions on the floor of parliament, and Minister of Energy has responded to them. I've written letters to the Ministry of Energy, and the latest one that I got was in November.
Okay.
Which referred to my application for extension of electricity to some selected communities in the Autu Senior West constituency of the Central Region.
Okay.
And it was thereby divided into phase 1 and phase 2.
Okay.
And Anan was one of the communities that was scheduled for phase 1.
Okay.
The catch, however, is that the total cost of this, having electricity for some of these communities, about 15 of them, it's going to cost about 1 million Ghana cedis.
Okay.
And it's been divided into phase 1 and phase 2.
Okay.
And they are proposing a cost-sharing mechanism with me as a member of parliament. Now, the question is, really, how much is my common fund to be able to fund this kind of activity?
Yeah.
And during my older sister's tenure, she managed to lobby for electricity extension to be moved from about 55% or so in the district to almost 90%.
Okay.
And for the past 7 years, there's not been any significant increase in that figure.
Yeah.
In the sense that the communities that didn't have during her time are still the same communities that still don't have.
Okay.
Which is it's very unfortunate. But I have been trying to follow up and using all lobbying mechanisms I can to make sure they get electricity. Because, this is 21st century.
Yeah.
And it is embarrassing to say that I'm that close to Accra, but I don't have electricity in some of these communities.
Very embarrassing.
And they use not only the older ones may use maybe young phones and all that, but the younger ones have found themselves smartphones. And for basic living, you want to charge your phone. You need light. There's a limit to how much you can use solar light for certain economic activities. There are some communities over there that even manage to have single phase of electricity, a single phase.
I see.
Now that cannot even power machines like corn mills and other mills that the community would generally use for their agri-processing or agri-business, whatever you call it. So it's a challenge. Apart from no electricity in some, there's single-phase electricity that needs to be upgraded to three-phase. So that certain economic activities can be increased. And so I'm doing my bit, and I think I keep on pushing. As I go on the community, I show them this letter.
The response from the energy minister, were there any timelines given? I mean, for the phase 1, phase 2 thing, were there any timelines at all? Or it's just,
it just says,
yes.
Owing to the size, the ministry intends to execute the project in 2 phases. Phase 1 will be commenced next year. This letter was written in November 2023.
Okay.
So they said the phase 1 will be commenced next year, which is this year. And phase 2 will commence in the year 2025.
I see.
Here, the following schedule. So they did give a schedule according to that.
Okay.
They indicated that some of the materials they do not have. So I will have to help and support those materials.
Okay.
And also handle the cost of installation. So I'm still negotiating.
Yeah.
Because this is a very big bill for a member of parliament to take.
Yeah.
And there are certain things that you see the central government should just take responsibility and do. It can do maybe 2 villages are nearby and I have to buy some poles and extend, I can do some of that.
Yeah.
But for 20 communities, it's a very heavy bill to pay.
Yes, yes. I agree with you. So let me ask, what's your relationship with your DCE like?
With
your DCE?
Well, the DC, it was cordial. The DC has actually just been removed.
Oh, okay.
He was one of the list of 24, so who have been removed. So
okay.
We are waiting for the next one to
come in. Okay. And do you get a sense of the office of the DCE being interested at all in fixing some of these issues? I mean, not the person. I'm just talking about the office of the DCE as you've been dealing with them. Was there any sense of urgency, a feeling of they need, they see the problem, they need to get it solved?
I think with the generality of it, the district assembly could, because it's been over 7 years, I think the district assembly could maybe liaise a bit better with the Ministry of Energy on certain programs. At first, the Central Region had this SHEP. In the previous administration, there were SHEP projects, self-help electrification projects.
Okay.
Now, these really helped in getting electricity to some of these outward areas.
Yeah.
Really helps in that. But they don't, when I inquired, they said they were not, Central Region, my area was not part of any of such programs for now. So a lot of these things come down from the central government.
Yeah.
And the programs that they put. And I think that on the larger scale, the developmental plans should really be looked at.
Yeah.
Because to have 20 villages for almost 7 years with no electricity, and that's not, it's like maybe 3 were handled in the first year, another 2 were handled in the second year, even if you're taking them incrementally.
Yeah.
Then you know that by the end of 7 years, you would have covered all.
Yeah.
But for it to be none at all, that's a bit worrying.
Yeah.
And so that is why, at this point, then I would get such a huge bill to be given to me to cost her on,
Do you mind sharing with us what the common fund typically is like in terms of the quantum, let's say per year?
Typically, the common fund would be about, we usually use about 450,000 to budget for things.
Okay.
On average, yes.
So it's really a pittance. I mean, it doesn't do much in the
yes,
in
it
the
doesn't
scheme
do
of
much.
things.
And this is the MP share of the common fund. But the district assembly also has their share of the common fund. Maybe you can go further into that and the ratios of what goes to the member of parliament and what goes to
the DC.
Because what I do mine for, I use mine for so many things. I use some for education. I use some for, let's say, for example, they are just a lot of things that are being asked for, repairing of boreholes, provision of boreholes. My colleagues use it for provision of boreholes, and so many other things that grading of roads and all, reshaping of roads.
Yeah.
And all manner of things. Maybe you can probe into that a bit more on your show to see what exactly we use our common funds for. And you realize that we try and do, when the government said they're going to give $1 million per constituency, I was really happy because I know what $1 million could do in my constituency.
Yeah.
This electricity would have been solved.
Yeah.
Plus areas that have been expanded, communities that people have managed to build their own houses and they don't have electricity, and they have had to do their own ad hoc extensions. Aside from other major community roads, we are a farming area. So roads into the farming areas so that the farmers can bring out their produce to market to sell. It would have been, great.
Yeah.
So honestly, this $1 million, we were all waiting for it, but really, nothing much has come out of it.
In the interim, Honorable, if I could ask, in the interim, can nothing at all be done for the community to have light or to have water? Drilling a borehole, it cannot take a whole month to drill a borehole. I mean, Citi is able to do a project within a month. So if a hole is not able to do it within a month, then these are quite questionable.
Yes, so the immediate thing is to repair the existing borehole that we have, which I'm working on. But the other immediate thing, and I told them that let me at least bring you some solar lights for the community itself, because when I went there, it was dark. I went there in the evening, and so I also experienced the darkness. So I said, let me bring you some standing like street lights, solar street lights, that at least can do that. And let's see, maybe they can even charge for your phones.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go to another community to go and even charge your phone.
Yeah.
That will be an interim, an immediate measure that I can work on, which I'm doing so.
Yeah.
Okay. But the bigger picture is that, you see, let me just mention this about water. Some people think that a borehole is a solution to all areas where they have water challenges. It's not entirely so.
Okay.
Because when you drill the borehole, you test the water. Some areas may have iron content. Some may have some may be saline. And in my constituency, the geography says that some areas are saline.
Yeah.
So after you drill the borehole, for example, you may have to actually treat it properly.
Okay.
So that is another conversation all together.
Right.
All right. We're really grateful for your time. What was your experience, briefly, just a few seconds, when you drove in and around the community? What was the experience like in terms of the road?
In terms of the road?
Yes, in terms of the road itself.
Yes, so those roads also are what we call them community roads, feeder roads, more or less. And I'm reshaping some of them currently.
Okay.
Because very soon the rains will set in. And when the rain sets in, it will be obviously in more trouble. And the machine, there's a grader working in certain areas of the constituency as we speak. They have worked on some of the areas from Obrachwe to Kwakrabi, and then they are now going to move to Kwanopado, to Mayenda, Botekawa. So I have a grader working on that at my own expense.
I see. All right. So, yes.
There are challenges on it.
All right. Thank you. We really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for speaking to us this morning.
You're welcome.
All right. So that's the Honorable Member of Parliament for Ewutu Senya West, Gisela Tete Agutui, and she was painting a picture for us of what it is that they've been going through within the community and how she is making efforts to assist and to help and to bring some level of respite to the community.